Hi everyone, Kelly Moran here, getting ready to provide our third installment on our digital PD series related to the science of reading. Last time we made a recording, we focused on reflecting on our teacher preparation programs and how, to what extent we felt that we as educators were trained to teach students how to read. So today we're going to look more closely at the reading brain and what cognitive scientists have learned and are informing us about the reading brain and how we can use that in moving forward in our instruction pieces and purchasing and implementing new materials and assessing our students and just adjusting and adapting to today's needs of the reader. So before we get looking at the brain and talk about cognitive science and cognitive research, I just want to ground us again in our mission statement and make sure that the work we're doing today to develop ourselves as professionals is related to that mission statement. So as I talk, and actually you're going to watch a video in this module, I just want you to be thinking about how what you're learning is related to aiming for high achievement for all of our students, where learning is our most important work each day. The purpose of all of this professional development, again, is just to help us as a team and family of educators in Chardon to generate a general understanding of the science of reading so that we can be informed and well equipped to teach today's learners in a way that is best suited for their brain. We want to make sure that the science of reading is correlating to high quality instruction, and we want to mirror our instruction in ways that is best suitable for our learners. Also, we want to make sure that what we're doing in terms of teaching reading and developing ourselves as reading teachers and assessing our students in reading and providing them intervention is related to and parallels the recommendations in the state's literacy plan. So to understand the science of reading, we have to consider several things. There's many different layers to this topic, and today we're just going to focus on the brain. So many of us know or are familiar that spoken language is natural for children to develop. If in most cases, not all of course, but in most cases, if you surround a young infant child with language in their environment, they begin to pick up on it and learn it on their own and are able to replicate it through the modeling of adults. So we don't really know how we teach this when we're speaking around children, but we know that they are naturally equipped to learn how to speak. Reading is not the same. Reading is not a natural process, and that's kind of like one of the major cornerstone premises of the topic of science of reading. Cognitive science has informed so many other fields like medicine, military, business advertisers, and yet in education, we haven't always looked to cognitive science to inform our instruction, to inform the way reading materials are designed, to inform the way our higher education, teacher prep, college, university coursework is designed for in-service teachers or pre-service teachers. So it's exciting that now there's a stronger relationship is being developed between education and cognitive science. Many of us as educators have not actually or officially been trained on the wirings of the brain or took a class on how the brain works and how the brain develops and prefers habits. I don't recall ever taking a class in learning how the brain transforms information to store it into long-term memory. I've attended some workshops and conferences along the way where I've heard bits and pieces about brain research, but I feel like when I was learning to become a teacher for the first time, this was a piece that was missing from my education. And I just feel excited and lucky that now the information is coming more readily for us to learn from it. So when you think of the brain is really good at habits, developing habits. This is the exact reason why someone doesn't need to reteach you how to tie your shoes every morning or brush your teeth. Once you've learned that information and you've practiced those steps and it's become solidified in your long-term memory, you become really efficient at employing those skills and doing those things. So in early grades, children sometimes get really good at memorizing words by sight, and that allows them to get by. And those of you who are parents or who have worked with young children, that's why children are so instantaneous to recognize those McDonald's golden arches and say McDonald's, or if they see a commercial for Ashley Home Store and you're driving in the car and they pass a big building with those letterings on it, they can quote unquote read Ashley Home Store. This is cute, and this often sparks conversation or dialogue between parent and child, but what's worrisome is in doing that, we're developing a habit of the brain to read words by sight, and cognitive scientists have found that that is not the best way to read. It's not the way that expert readers read. When they've studied brains of efficient and excellent readers, what they have found is that even though the reader doesn't realize it, his or her brain is mapping letter to sound, sound to letter, decoding each letter and mapping it to a sound as they read. We don't pay attention to this as fluent readers because we can do it with ease and our brain has developed that habit. But that's what we want to be considering when we are helping to support young learners and encouraging them to sound out words rather than recognize them by sight. This information on the different areas of the brain here in this visual graphic, the source here is linked in the presentation. So if you want to check that out more, you can do that. But you can see the various different parts that are responsible for different things in the brain. And the part of the brain that actually reads letters or can decode letters or works on that matching or that mapping of letter to sound, sound to letter, actually starts off in our infants and young children as the part of the brain that recognizes facial expressions. And as the child learns reading, learns phonics and phonemic awareness, develops, his or her letterbox in their brain is rewiring itself and changing. And so that area of the brain is what cognitive scientists refer to as the letterbox. And here is an expert who's going to talk to us just a little bit more about all of this.
This child is learning to read. He's trying to rewire areas in his brain so it can turn shapes of letters on paper into sounds and words of spoken language. Actually, his teacher might not always be helping him because one common way of teaching probably just makes it harder to learn to read. Stanislas Dehaene knows this. He won the Brain Prize in 2014. He studies how reading takes place in the brain. He is a professor at Collège de France and the leader of INSERM CEA's Cognitive Neuroimaging Center in Saclay, south of Paris. These laboratories are called Neurospin.
In my lab, we are specializing in analyzing the functions of the human brain, and especially the higher level functions such as reading, language, mathematics, number processing, consciousness.
Watching the brain at work requires finely tuned precision scanning instruments, as well as very carefully designed experiments if you want to make sure you're actually studying a certain function of the brain. This means the scientists in Dehaene's laboratory, in order to see how the brain reads, might construct a whole hierarchy of stimuli, ranging from real words all the way down to pseudo words, or even pseudo letters that look like letters but are meaningless symbols in any alphabet.
In this way, we can isolate some of the brain processes by subtraction. We ask, what difference does it make if it's a word? What difference does it make if it's pronounceable? Where in the brain is a specific process going on?
So what actually happens in the brain when it reads? And what implications should it have for how reading should be taught? It turns out our brains build on the circuits we trained when we absorb spoken language. In other words, to grasp the alphabet, the brain first must learn to speak. That is easy for a child. Over millions of years, evolution has hardwired the human brain structures for that purpose. We don't need to go to school to learn to speak. All we need is to experience a language. But evolution has never shaped the brain to read. No brain structures have been developed through evolution to make sense of letters and written words.
We were never born in order to learn to read. It's an invention, it's very recent. What we do is we recycle some of the circuits of the ventral visual cortex. Some of these circuits are specialized for faces, for instance, but we turn them into circuits for recognizing letters and bringing this information about letters to the same exact circuit that is being used for spoken language. They know about the pronunciation of the word. And especially when you're a beginner reader, the challenge of reading is to turn the letters into sounds.
So that's what this child's brain is struggling with. Turning symbols on paper into sounds. Sounds that make sense because they are part of spoken language. But until he masters this conversion, he cannot focus on the meaning of the word.
Now, as you become an expert reader, you become faster and faster in doing this conversion. You begin to be able to do it for an entire set of letters all at once, in parallel. So you no longer have the feeling that you're doing this slow conversion, but it's still going on in your head.
These are findings that have implications for teaching all over the world, because many children are trained to recognize whole words when they learn to read. That might not help the child at all.
There is a debate in the education literature about how to teach reading. There's this idea that maybe you just need to expose children to whole words or even whole sentences, and they will absorb the reading system. We know it's not the case, and we know now that it's the other way, the explicit teaching of correspondences between graphemes and phonemes, between letters and sounds, which is the right way to teach reading, because this is the way to teach explicitly the circuits going directly from vision to spoken language. This is the preferred route for the brain. If you don't do that, if you draw attention to the whole word, there are experiments showing that you are teaching another circuit, much more in the right hemisphere, which is the opposite side of the brain.
Then you're not training the brain to read. The discovery of how the brain learns to read is an example of how scientific measurements of the brain can lead to better understanding of psychological processes like reading, mathematics, and other functions of consciousness. And it turns out, even mathematics can be taught in ways the brain finds more or less natural. This was clear to Stanislas Dehaene decades ago.
So in the case of mathematics, we've also found that there is another area of the brain, I can show you, it's exactly here in the interparietal sulcus, that exists for a long time in evolution, exists in a monkey, and are caring about number and space and time, and they give us a sort of foundation for the concepts of mathematics. I think there are some implications of what we found in mathematics for education. It should not be taught in the abstract, but it should reconnect to those basic intuitions that we find in young children, in babies, and even in non-human primates.
More than 100 years ago, the Eiffel Tower was erected in Paris as a celebration of the wonders of natural science, engineering, and the era of industry. Today, we live at the brim of another important era, the era of the brain. In the next century, finer and finer instruments might allow neuroscientists to uncover how the brain works. Not only reading or other relatively simple functions, but also how our sense of awareness arises from the chemistry and electrical signals deep in our brains.
My hope is that we'll soon have a theory for how to bridge the neural level to the psychological level. Right now, we have a huge separation between psychological studies on the one hand and neuroscience studies. And my goal in